Hello, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take a quick break from the owl and the tree. I had a writer write in and ask me some questions about how to get this started and how to get this going. And this is associated with my grinning apple. And here what I did is I just put it on two stylized trees here. So I want to take a quick break from that. I want to put this out in pieces and for you to see and understand. My name is Russell Scott from scottcarvings.com. I'm going to create these wedgie pieces here, these Santa, I'm going to call it Santa wedgies. It's based on my grinning apple, but I put it in a sort of a stylized Christmas grinning Santa and tree form. Now what I did here was I took, there's two ways you can do this, is you take a piece. Now this is 2 inches by 6 inches, and it fits that dimension the best. I've done something wider. I've tried to do a witch and a pumpkin, and it didn't turn out too well. But you can probably make it like maybe 4 inches by 12 inches, or what would be an inch or 2 inches, 2.5 inches by 9 inches. It'll, just however you widen this, you lengthen that kind of a thing. The first time I've done this was actually from a piece of scrap wood. So next time when you carve or cut, it was a piece of scrap wood like this. It was sort of like I had to carve a Santa who was leaning over to one side, and so I cut a wedge out like this. And I thought, well, I don't want to waste that piece, and so then I saw it down the middle, and that was the first time. In fact, the first Santa is like that that you see on my website, Santa and tree. I've done a Santa and Mrs. Claus, but we'll get started on this. Put this aside. I want to find the best ends. So let's just get started. Make sure my camera is steady. Find that center line. Now the center line, I'm going to go like if you were to have this come straight down, instead of it at an angle. If you were to have it come straight down, like if you were to saw that off, but you don't want to saw that off, then it would be center from that. Am I in the camera? Yes, I am. Same here. Well, that's a little off. I'll put that on. I'll start with the Santa. Santa's a little more difficult. The tree's a little easier. The main thing is most of it is going to be a review, but I'm going to try to show how when you carve one out and you want the other one to match. Now this one didn't match up too well because the thing about the Santa and the grinning apple, now the grinning apple is a little bit like this. There's no beard or mustache. So that's the other thing I want to try to point out. Now that I did not paint that correctly. That should be pink. That should be the upper lip. Or maybe we can just kind of, I think the one I did with the other Santa is just come down with the mustache and just show a little bit. To which that shows that some of the teeth is covered by the mustache. But we want to end up everything even across. The other thing about this, I want to point out, there's 2 ways to finish it. If you look at the bottom, it's still square, where I round and then I just kept that squareness. Now you could do that, or you can round it completely. That's what I did with my Mr. and Mrs. Claus by the virtue of me not paying attention, because sometimes I'd get a little slap happy with the knife and I'd cut the first corner off and that was it. let's just say that's a pattern to which that is permanent. Now this one here is just a little bigger. I'm going to make a little cheat. I didn't bring my ruler. But I do have my divider. So as to, what I did is I just kind of figured out kind of generally where the eyes, nose, mouth, and how it all fit. But for this, I'll give you the measurements. If this is 6 by 2, oh, I'm sorry, this is 1.5 inches thick. It probably doesn't matter how thick it is, thicker, thinner. Oh well, you want it thick enough so it'll stand up. So, but this particular one, 6 by 2 by 1.5. But what would be the center mark here? Would be, just for the heck, I think the eye is probably the center. I think nope. The eye is not the center. Maybe the eyebrow is the center. Nope. Maybe I should have prepared myself. Oh, the hat is, I didn't even think about that. The hat is probably about the same. So look at that. So, halfways would be the upper eyebrow, so I'd say, so the eye will have to be right here. Eye to the nose. Like I said, this doesn't have to be rocket science. It's just I'm doing this for the sake of just showing you how to get started. Where you want the nose, you want a bigger nose, bigger mouth, higher up. But we'll just leave it at that. Let's get these out of the way. And we want to start with the nose like everything else. Now, what we also want to do, what I've said with my other videos, is we want to kind of round things out. Be careful to leave the square bottom if you want the square bottom. In fact, that's what I'd probably start doing, is rounding out just a little bit. Now, when we round this is the detached side. We want to make sure you see I'm kind of cutting towards myself when I do. I got my thumb there. Is that we don't want to get to a point, we might want to shave this, but we want to get to the point where the two relatively meet. Semi-cleanly, you might say. I mean, there's going to be some holes like right here, you know, the separation with the details. But other than that, we want it to be relatively straight. Okay, away we go. Cut down here. We'll kind of go this a little, maybe a little faster. Straight down is your top cut. How deep? As deep as you want it. Yeah, go a little bit like that. I'm gonna just do kind of a scoop, because what we want is we want the nose to go in, but we still want the top of the hat, some for the top of the hat there. Careful with the, what do you call it, scraping and prying with your knife. You want to cut those chips out, but not pry them out or scrape them out. Okay, I'm just start with the nose. I always like to start with the nose and the eye socket. I'm going to use my, that's why I always like to show this off. These two are helvy nice. These are 2 peas in a pod. One is a little older than the other. Can you guess which one? And I get my knives from a couple of my knife guys here. I got probably in my area 3 knives, 3 or 4. One of them was the Willocks, Chris Willock of Faribault. Look it up on the internet. He uses little, not little, what do you call them? Flex cut knives. Those are pretty good too. And he also does stew-by tools. And then there is Larry Udis of Des Moines, Iowa. That's where I got this from. Oh goodness, what is it? The wood carving shop? Is it the wood carving shop? Larry Udis with a Y. Look on the internet. Another one of my wood carving guys is a guy named Larry. I lost the name. Got some knives from him. He's local, and where you are, I'm sure they're in those who. The best thing to do is to find, if you're getting started, find the local clubs, and they'll tell you which direction to go. I always get his name mixed up with Lauren Woodard. Now, Lauren Woodard is a wood carving and instructor. This is embarrassing. First name Lawrence. That's why his first name is Lawrence. What is his last name? He sells knives too. Knives and chisels. Okay, now that we got the nose and eye socket in, let's go a little deeper, just a little deeper. One more, so we can have just a little oomph in for the eye. And I'm going to end up using the chisels. Now make sure that we're still perpendicular, parallel to our pretend bottom, which is going to be an angle from your real bottom. Knife. Now this is the hard one. This is going to be the Santa Claus. I'm going to start with, let's just start with the face now. Oh, he is just a tiny bit smaller. Oh no, he isn't. If you go this way, if you go this way, then he's a tiny bit bigger. Uh-oh. So I'm just putting this in right here because it's just a nice place. It's just above the eye. Have some brow room. And this doesn't have to be perfectly around. You can have his hat askewed. I think that's what I did here. His hat is a little askewed. But we do want the head to come down in the back. Oh, I neglected to do that. Clean that up. Did I do that there? Yes, I did. Whenever you do your Santas and snowmen and whatever, and they got a hat on, you can have that band as wide as you want. Make it go in the back. You don't want to have just directly on the top. It looks really unnatural. You know, you do that. Next time you put a hat on, put it on straight like this. Have somebody take a picture of you. Now that's a comical picture that you don't want anybody to see. That's how bad it is. You don't want to be caught. And I gotta adjust myself here. Okay, now what I want to do is let's put this face in. Let me draw it in and then I'll show you. Now, of course, his cheek, you can go like this. Put your hand here and then eyeball this thing going up and down. This is right about there. That's going to be okay, that's the easy part. The hard part is going to be the mouth, but let's put the mustache in. I always let you put any kind of mustache in. This time I'm going to go kind of sharply down like this. The other one I went more horizontal. This one's going to be more vertical. You can put any mustache, but see, the thing is if you put in something different than this, then it'll cover the mouth. I always like that mustache. That's what I call a happy mustache. All right, now we're going to put the mouth in. Now when we do the tree, the mouth is going to come like this. Let's draw, I would say dotted line, but the mouth is going to come, and it's going to come like here. And then it's going to come straight out. If you watched my pumpkin or grinning apple, and we want that to go, you can have him grin as happy as you want. This one here, I'm going to make him more grinny. I like to turn and then, so instead of going straight down, this is going to be the hard part. You turn out and then back. Did I goof up? Let's go upside down. There we go. Yeah, and look at it for me and make sure that that is centered. I might want to go in a little bit. It's up to you. So the mustache comes out a little bit, and we still want to have a little bit of wood right here. A little bit extra wood. Okay, yeah, I like that. More grin. That's probably the biggest grin I've ever seen. So I might as well make it different than this video. Why not? Then what I'd like to do, it's up to you, is I like to make my stop cuts with the V tool to start with, because the V tool, if you kind of goof up with your stop cut, instead of a knife where you could dig deep, V tool you can still adjust. Ooh, just needed a little bit of adjustment there. You take your V tool and you just kind of erase those pencil marks, sort of, or those pencil lines, not marks. If you erase the pencil marks, you'll probably be erasing more than you want. Am I still in camera? I think is my hand in the way? I think my hand's in the way. So it's kind of difficult to show. I mean, I could see it. Make sure your V tool is nice and sharp. I think it's when I use my V tool is when I really cover my hand, or cover the carving, pardon me. We'll go like this for a while. Is that, you know, my light is all goofed up here. My light is actually falling apart, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my light sitting on the camera. And I suppose I don't need to go too close when it comes to this. I'll do that in detailing. Yeah, this is the fast forward part. The fast forward part of the video. Okay, out, in a little bit, and then back out and around. This is kind of a little bit opposite of what I've done with the pumpkin, or the, I've used that grinning face on the pumpkins more than on the apples, so that's why. Okay, it's got to go in and then out a little bit. All right. Is good. Now what we want to do is we want to take the knife and just, now we go around. Now the reason why I like the V tool, again, like if you goof, the V tool might be a little more forgiving, I don't know, depending on how spectacularly you goofed. But it gets rid of those pencil marks too. Get the thumb out of the way. I want to go in, out. Did I do the mustache? I did one mustache. And then, ooh, itch. Ooh, in the exact same spot where I am right now. Yeah, I just needed to itch. I need to scratch. All right. I want to start with the face. Let's get just a little bit of the eyebrow, but be careful with, still want to save some wood with the forehead. And while we're at it, we'll just, and we are cutting down to our stop cut. Clean that a little bit while I'm here. While I'm here, let's just straighten it out a little bit. Okay. That's what I like to do. Sometimes as I'm carving one thing, and then, while I'm here, I might want to clean this a little bit, and I might want to straighten that a little bit while I'm here. So if you see, you'll probably see me do that, or you've probably seen me do that a lot. I'll leave that to my big knife. I just want to get started. Sometimes I like working with this knife, is not only because I can gouge better, but sometimes I get better leverage. I don't know. Because see, as I'm getting in there, I might, hurt myself. I don't know. I did gouge this. I gotta watch the tip of your knife, or you can't watch it, it's inside. Or another way is you can go like this. And you try to pretend that you can see that tip right through the wood. So it's not that I did do some gouging here. That's why I like to make the face a little wider than I should. I'll give this another gouge. That's the same with see where I was cutting down? Make sure the finger's out of the way. But just, you concentrate more on what you want to do than just simply putting the knife on the wood and pushing. Now we want to give this thing a little 45-degree angle here. And a little, which I'm going to be taking the chisel pretty soon to that. Because see, I think I'm losing it since this needs to be a little more higher. There's that a little better. Then I want to get that nose in, take your knife straight down, curve it a little bit. Now you can, I'll probably use the chisel on that. Let's just take this off for now. This is one way of doing like a quick nose. And then we want to, we'll clean that later. As I always say, we'll leave that to the maid. In other words, during the cleaning up process. Make sure that it comes out. So this little video is sort of like carving a Santa face and a greening face at the same time. And I think the rest is pretty easy to understand. Now you may want to do this if you're a person who's, your knife handling is a little shaky. You want to be careful doing this a different way. Straighten this a little bit. Now I got to remember, be careful. Leave some wood there because we need to put just a little bit of lip. We need to give them a little bit of lip. And be careful that we don't ruin our, the way we're, the little squiggly here. which I think we may have. Let's just straighten this out a little bit, because the teeth is on the inside. See, this is just getting started on the face, or on the teeth, actually. Okay, let's just straighten this. So let's put this, I want to put this in. I'm going to use my mechanical pencil here. Just a little bit of lip. Because what's going to happen when you do the tree is you got that lip there. But see, our Santa's got a mustache. So here's the lip. We provided the mustache. Now we need to provide the lip. Because I want, ooh, did I just take it out? Again, if I'm going too fast, just stop the video at any time. I did a little prying there. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have pried out the wood. Sometimes it's like carving a chip, like chip carving. Still, don't you hate it that you got all the cuts in and it's still? Now the thing that's going to be a little different with this one than with the tree, I am going to still use a little bit of, where is it? My chisel. This is the small number 9. And I still want to go through, just like I'm going to do with the tree at this point. So while we're at it, we can, so I'm bringing this up here, bringing this around. Oops, careful, I think I'm going to chip too much. There we go. And then I'll come around the eye a little bit, like I did. Now I'm going to use the same chisel, like I said, as a number 9, whatever size that is. And I'm going to fart. Futz with the nose here. Go like this for the round part there. Oh no, hold on. Before you do that, stop. Oh, I did do that on this one here. On this side, it's the other side I didn't do. Is we want to get these little angles out here first. See where it's gonna, see how we're gonna do this with the light. Okay, now let's get back to futzing. And see how that rounds that out there? How can I do this close enough so that I'm close to the light so you can still see better? Then where I just move this, cut this here, come back and just a little bit, just to take the, like I said, we'll leave that to clean up. Then where this, see where this part, come down this way, this part we'll just give it a scoop. Same here at this part here, give it a scoop. Now here's what we want to do. We're going to form the nostrils a little more by just cutting right here. How close can I do this with my light? I do need a new light. I had to do this quick and didn't have time to get a better setup. And then we'll go upside down and go in. I'm going to come back here and cut the nostril. I don't believe I've done it on that Santa. And there we got a better nose. Clean that up a bit later. Now I want to clean it a little bit because what I want to do while we're at this, at the face, kind of finish the face by taking the pencil mark out, help rounding a little bit. Knife is a good eraser. Okay, I want to put, with my mechanical pencil, Where is he? It's kind of hard. You know, I hope you can see that because actually it's kind of hard for me to see. It's a little bump up, down, and then across like that. Except because it's not clean enough. Where's it? Get in there, get that in there. Up, down, and out. There we go. Let me take, oh, where's my detail knife? Right here. Oops, that's not it. I know we're kind of going ahead. Up, down, and across. And then just take out some of that you just did. So it's almost like a really sharp V tool. Here's, well, upside down, it'll be down. Oops, down, up. Carefully, don't come across. And oops, slowly. And take that chip out. I'm having some troubles with that. Now I want to straighten the forehead a little bit. And cleaning it a little bit. Take out a little 9 again. And we're going to come at a 45-degree angle this way, 45-degree angle this way. Can I do this with my fingertips? Because, again, here's if going to come around and do this again. Same thing, 45 this way, 45 this way. And that, my favorite word, should pop out. If it doesn't, don't cry out loud. This is one spot you really don't want to pry that stuff. You don't want to pry that out. You're going to take your little detail knife. Oops. Sharpen down. Now, I wonder if I got this off. I'm off a little bit here. I might be off a little bit. That's not bad. And then we take our 9 again. And we go underneath it. Just underneath. So we would lift the eye up. So this is like it's the bottom eyelid. Now what you could do is you could take a V tool on top and make a I didn't do it on that one. Let's see. No, so we want to experiment. Yeah, we can experiment. Where's my? I got a nice little flex V. And you want to kind of follow the eye about, in this particular case, about 1/8 of an inch up and around. There's the eyelid. 1/8 of an inch up and around. Yeah, I think that'll bring it out a little more. I had to do it with the tree, because it didn't turn out as well. But here, I think we'll do this from now on. There we go. Got a little scratch there. Okay, so detail one more thing on the forehead. Round. Okay, there is the face. Now we can clean up. We'll have some more details. Getting back to the mouth here. Oops, did some prying there. Now the teeth we want to. I always like to have big buck teeth. So I have a little, oops, make sure we got this straight line. Straight with everything. But I don't want the bottom teeth so far down that it's hard to get into it to make the teeth. And then of course there's the center tooth, or center break, pardon me, oops. There's our line right there. Make sure we're still on that. And I'll have a second. Now you can have it as buck toothy as you want, or you want to go straight in the center or whatever you'd like to do. But I'd like to is the bottom tooth is just a little smaller, just to get a little more character. You know, the thing is I didn't have to do the bottom part. What the heck was I doing? Now you can use your V-tool to start, or you can just take your knife. Let's go in that direction. Let's take your knife. My end of straight down, get the thumb out of the way. Straight down here. Curve. So we want to lift the upper teeth. Then we want this to go around. We'll fix that later. Let's just get the teeth in. I like to have my nice little flex cut V on this. Careful, ooh, careful we don't hit that lip. Dent in the lip. Same with down here, this will come. And then I want these teeth just a little. Now it's time to, other than cleaning up, for the beard, what I've done is I just these little scoops like this. I don't want to bore you with that, or you can take your round chisel and I'm going to just cut this just a little bit just to clean it, for the sake of cleaning it. Ooh, careful. Now what we want to do is we want to look at the profile. Now it's kind of, this is being stylized and not overly realistic. We should bring this up a little bit, because remember the chin is going to come down, but then of course we're lucky with him is he's got a beard, so it's going to go out. But we just want to bring this in at this point a little bit. If you were doing this more, especially the tree is going to be more difficult. The Santa's got the beard, so we'll bring this in just a little bit. All right, one more thing that I want to do, a couple more on that too, I'll probably think about more. When we do some little detailing, what we're going to do is we'll take our detailing knife, and we're just going to come down, carefully, turn it around, because you're going away. See, I'm right-handed, and I think it's the same thing, but in reverse and left hand. My knife is naturally going this way instead of straight down. So if I do a little bit of about 30 degrees, and then that teeth will come out a little better. So if I go this, so instead of bending the knife, used to call it bending the blade. Maybe it's, probably could still do it, is what I meant was, like you'd cut this way and then you cut this way. Why don't you just move the piece around? It's like when you use your bandsaw, you don't clamp down the wood and you move the saw around. So let's clean this a bit. Hand out of the way. We'll do the same thing to the bottom teeth. But before we do that, I want to do this. I'm going to cut a little angle here. Little angle here. There, that looks a little more like teeth. Same with the bottom. I'm going to try to keep my center line. Do two teeth at the same time. Now the second thing I want to do, I mean there's a lot of cleaning up. I'll do a little bit of cleaning up in front of you here. I want to jump in and we'll jump in on the tree here. Let me do this quick. I want to bring the hat just round it a little bit, and then just a little. We don't want it to be too pointy. Now in this case we probably could, because since the tree comes to a point, yeah, usually when you do other characters, that's the other thing I want to mention, you can do not only Mr. and Mrs. Claus, you can do a cowboy and a Native American, you can do, I mean I've done a Uncle Sam and a grinning bottle rocket, and like I said, I try to start with a witch and a pumpkin. You can do so many different things with it. You got to keep in mind what's going to happen at this point here. Got to clean this a little bit. Now it does come to a point with both the tree and the Santa hat, so we're kind of okay with that. To which, but this is stylized. It doesn't have to be overly perfect. Let's just put that little ball up there. You could also, if you wanted to, you can have it so the the head comes up and it bends, and then put the ball over here. You want to put it on the outside, not on the inside. The outside, but it has to be just a. Can we do that? I think I may have committed to not doing that. But you know what? I want to do it because it's different. Let's make this a little. I'm going to do it because it's different than what I've done. So you can have it just like this, your choice. That's the quick and simple, easy one. Let's try to just think about this. That's what I've done in some of my videos, is I showed you how to create. And as I am creating, I could be screwing up right before your very eyes. Now we don't want to go too deep. And this is on the outside. This is on the outside. Make sure. I didn't even. Sometimes I do that. I go on the video. Oh, you could do this and you could do that, and I'm thinking, no, I could have done that. Why don't I do another one like that? Now the thing about this is what I just did here was then you're going to have to take. Where's my? Do the same thing and. Do your stop cut. We still in the camera? Yep. Now I'm doing a careful stop cut. I'm not just pushing as hard so it'll slip and hit my hand. Now I'm going to cut here like this, so it's bringing the tassel up to show some three-dimensionality. Now that's the good news. The bad news is we still need to what I could have done is I could have, like I said, the whole idea of using the V tool is to get rid of the, but sometimes I put pencil marks in and then I change my mind. Sometimes when I do bark houses, I just kind of pencil in where I think the door, the window is, and then I take it and I drill the holes, and then, I mean, just because I don't go along the line that I just put doesn't mean, I mean, just because I draw it doesn't mean I have to go along it. Provided that you, let me take that back, you have to, provided you choose not to. Other than that, if you don't choose not to and you want to be at the line, then you want to stay on the line. So you could do that. I mean, we'll paint that. I'll probably go a little deeper, but the problem is you can't see that. You know, when your tree is, you know, when you're up like this. But you can carve, dig deep just a little more. I probably will do that. But I just want to at least get, you can do all kinds of cleaning. I wanted to show you a little bit of cleaning here. What I'm going to do is how far can I do this without messing the light and messing my eyes. I want to go straight down. Just like we've done before with the teeth. Watch the thumb, watch what you're doing. And I'm trying to not only clean, oops, but I want to create a shadow. I'm not so supposed to pry it out, provided that it is loose. But if it's not loose, don't you just hate that? Come on. There. And see, now I'm creating this shadow. I might want to shape a little bit now that I took some off. Let's do that again on this side. Now what I'm trying to do is kind of keep the cheek out and then come in a little bit above the cheek. Now come on, don't you just hate that when, yeah, I'm positive I cut that. What are you talking about? Get out of there. Get away from the carving. And that's some of the things that I want to do. And cleaning up, taking pencil marks out. Here we'll come, let's see, how did I do this? And make sure I did this right. Clean this out, then in, and then back out again. And we're going to go all the way around that. You can go all the way around that. Oops, I think I may have dug a little too much here. Again, take the pencil marks out, clean up all the saw marks. Now this, I like to do a little bit of, you scoop in the center. Let's do this. In other words, here, I'll show you. You're going to watch, scoop in the center. So let me show you, see how that kind of bends? That's sort of a nice little caricature. Oops. Since this is a stylized and caricature at the same time. Depends on how you want it. You can make it rounder and puffier. You don't have much wood to make it too puffy. Same with everything else, and then you just clean it a little bit by taking, you can take the edge off a little bit. Take the edge off just a little bit, and any extra pencil marks. Okay, that's, I mean, as far as the major thing, that's the stand. I mean, we'll clean that up. What I want to do is at least get started, and we'll probably go through do it a second time. What I want to do is to show you how we can get started with this is, I want this to be, we want this to be exact, right? So you put them together. There is this eye here, and this nose here. How does that line up over here? This eye here, nose here. And that's goofed up. That's one way to do it. There's the other way to do it. You say, oh, it's the right way. Well, the right way is always the, yeah, okay. So you want that eye to go there. How is that? Wait a minute, let's go center line. Can you see what I'm doing here? Center line to the bridge of the nose. Is that where the eye is? Center to the eye. Center to the eye. Center here. Remember we did do that center line, so same with the nose. Right at the center. Right at the center of the stalk cut. Okay. Get out of there. Get out of there. Now make sure it's parallel to. Did you see what I'm doing here? Uh-oh, is that right? You know, I always do that when I teach. I'll draw a bunch of lines, and that's the one you do. Well, which one? Well, I know which one. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. And now we can pencil in the mouth a little better here, a little easier here. Now this is more like the grinning apple. Come out probably about a good, almost horizontal. Get that center line back in. And then come down. And we want that grin about as wide as, or as long as the other one. But I want to start with this. Get your cutting tools here. You want to straight down. Careful, get your finger out of the way. And you only want to cut to the end. Sometimes when you get carried away, if you got your finger there, I've done that. These little red flags should come up. Like when you're cutting and you want it to break, but it doesn't break. You cut deeper and deeper and it's not breaking. That's when you should make sure your fingers are out of the way, because when that breaks, it'll snap and your knife will just fly forward. Also, I neglected to mention, you should wear a glove. I thought I did this when I didn't. And we want to just get this, the barrel of the mouth started, and we want to have some nice sharp laugh lines there. Now it's not perfect, but this should come out a little more. Doesn't matter, this will probably have to come in, come down a little more. And we go a little deeper. Now when we do some cleaning up or detailing, what I like to do is just dig deep in there. I'll try to do is a little thumb out of the way. There's a difference between wrenching it out and just simply pulling out a piece that's broken. If it's not broken, then don't pry it out. especially when you get to detailing, you don't want to do any prying because you have this little booger right there, and you try to, it won't come out. Then you pry, and then it'll take part of your whatever nose or mouth or eyes or eyeballs, especially around the eyeballs. All right, that's just a nice start. But like I said, we'll get more into detail, and I like it deeper. Before we go, I want to do this. It's almost like a sad face, but it's going to round with the cheek. And again, we're starting with the knife, and we'll use the chisel to really make it more rounder. Right now, I just want to get it started. And the chisel, we're going to bring this out a little more. I don't think I did that on the, no, I didn't do it on this tree, but I usually like to just get a little more roundness there. But then here is, I want to do a deep chip. Like I didn't mention, I know I did it with the sand. I think I neglected to mention it. But we want a deep, we start here deep with a nice sharp tip. And then it's going to be like a, there, because you'll see the roundness. Did I do that? You know what? Maybe I didn't do that with the sand as I should have. Ooh, I neglected to do that. You could come back and just redo that a little bit. I think the reason why is the Santa has more to it than just the tree. Is just very simple. I think that's why I neglected that. Oh, one other thing I neglected to do with this that I did with the Santa is I want to take this chip out here. I neglected to do that with this tree here. Now I did. Now I'm not going to go too much. Well, let's at least go this part here. Where's my, like I said, I want to probably clean it a little bit. I just like doing the knife first because it's nice, symmetrical. And then you take the chisels just to kind of round it out. And I like to come down here. This is what I do this time. I didn't do it with the other time, or the other tree, the one I got finished here. Just come down a little bit here. Get that out of there. Or in this case, come up. Just a little bit, that brings that cheek out. Now, one thing I did, I'm going to take my detail on this one, is I want to take that out. There you go. Now I'll go very quickly with the chisel on this. What I did was just rounded it, just to round it. Start at this point here, and this also cleans up a lot of the knife marks too. Remember, we still want to get deep in there. Come down, upside down in. Then we're going to come this way. Do it very quickly here. Here, make sure it's the same. Very quickly. Here. Can you see it? It's kind of hard. I've noticed that when I do some chiseling, it's kind of hard. Harder than using the knife. I'll leave the eye for now. I mean, I can do that during, I'm going to do only so much on this one on the video, and then now here, where's our little, what did I do with that? I'm going to go from here to here, here to here, As a matter of fact, that these two Santas here is another example. Or not two Santas, Santa and the tree that I just showed, the painted, the finished one here, is an example of a piece of scrap. There's a big nice wedgie there, and then I just cut it down the center. And there you did. Just made a quick. So that's from about the center of this bottom here. From here, we'll go to here. Okay. Now this one here is going to have a little more lip. I'm going to pencil this in first. So this is going to be kind of new here because it's going to, in order to fit the sand, this one's going to have a little more lip. Let's see how it looks. I'll pencil it and see how it looks, and then we'll probably have to adjust. Okay, it is perfect so far. The only thing is how it's a little more lippy there. But you know, you can always bring this, you can always, if you want to bring this up a little more, then you can bring this up a little more. Almost to make it disappear. You can make it disappear to bring this up. So I'm going to do it in reverse. Now this I think I goofed up. This one here I just did a quick eye. Now I think this comes down a little more. What is it at this angle here? Yeah, this comes down a little more. I could have brought that up. But let's make him a little lippy this time to see how it looks. Something new. And again, you could, if you don't like that, you can bring this up a little bit, and then you can bring this up a little bit, or maybe even bring it up to make that disappear. Make that lip disappear. Which you could do that because that's one less thing you have to futz with. As far as painting and... That's why I always like working with blockouts, cutouts, than with roughouts. Because cutouts, you can always change things. I think it might turn out, I was thinking about this, we still have to deal with the lip itself. We didn't have to do that with the Santa because all we had to do is just kind of show some kind of a flat. You know, we'll probably even, after we're done here, we might make some adjustments. If I didn't goof, you know what, I may have goofed that a little bit here. I think I may have goofed it here. See if I can fix it. If I bring it in, I might fix it a little bit. This is one of those things of do what I say, but don't do what I do. That's one thing about carving. I always say carving is like baseball. You know, you pick up the bat. Yeah, I think I may have goofed the... You pick up the bat, and the pitcher throws the ball at you. Now you know that you're supposed to hit the ball safely. You know that. Nobody has to tell you. You take a swing and you miss, and you don't need the coach to come out and say, well, what the heck is the matter? Don't you know? Don't you know anything about baseball? You're supposed to hit the ball. And then you get another pitch, and he comes out again, and you missed the ball again. Don't you know? Do you have any idea what... That's what it's like. Like, I know what to do, but sometimes the knife decides to do something else. That's why it's kind of, sometimes it is hard, you know, when you have instructors, and I think they're, well, I don't, never had that much problems where, no, you're not supposed to do that. I know, it just happened. And when you're in class, you hear the other people carving, and there's a snap. No. All right, now I think, let's take a look. I think we might have to widen them out, but yeah, I think we got the depth, but I think we may have to widen it a little bit here. Oh, yeah, that's what I did, was I came down, that's what I neglected to do, came out, and then back out again. But I still want the same length. That's why it didn't work out. Oops. And then back in. That's one of the bad things about working in doubles, or more than two, is you gotta, sometimes it's gotta fit. And then you gotta go back to the first one and adjust to the second, and adjust to the third, to the first, and I'll worry about cleaning that up a little later. I want to work on the teeth. That's one more dimension we need here. Well, in fact, that's just perfect. That's interesting, that was perfect. Oops. Didn't show you while I was doing this. Not that you probably care to see me measure, but we'll do the same thing here where I cut down. Careful. You know, sometimes when I carve, I say that to myself, careful. Who are you talking to? Talking to myself. I do teach. I'm in the Minnesota area. I'm from St. Paul, of course, Minnesota area. And we have our Metro wood carving, and not to be confused with the Michigan Metro. I'm going to cut this in just a little bit here. And every November, middle November, 1 or 2 weeks dependent, before Thanksgiving, as we have our weekend, I teach my latest Santas. And then the next year, at the Carve Fest in Faribault, Minnesota. In fact, if you see my videos there in Carve Fest. Then I teach the same Santa or anything else. Sometimes I bring my old cutouts if somebody wants to do something else. Again, now we're back to shaping. I can't remember who mentioned it on his Facebook page or his YouTube page. I'm thinking about possibly doing carving classes via the internet or via Skype. I think that would probably be an interesting idea. If you hear that or you heard from somebody like that, we can give it a try. I was thinking about that. Get your computer lined up for Skype. Okay, I wanted to get to this point here. I will do the teeth later. I want to get to the upper lip. I would say the new thing between these two carvings. Again, where's that center line? It's still there. And where's my little, there it is, my little number 9. And I'll go straight down. Now careful we don't knock that nose off. And it's going to come down at an angle like this. Now here's what I'm going to do with the lip. The lip has, right here, I'm going to get right about here like this. Let's do this in pieces. All right. That's for starters. But where this is up, this is down. And this is where we're going to get back to what I was talking about, making this deeper here. Again, this is going to be your shaping and your fixing time. Shaping and same here. We're actually gouging out and deeper. Oops. That's an okay oops. Now I want to bring the smile up just a little more, just to add a little extra smile here. Flat. Almost flat, just to bring it up a little bit. There. Now that is kind of basically, oh no, that's not basically. Let me finish the top here so I can get the star. The teeth is a matter of drawing in. And you remember how you do the eye? I'll just try it in here. Sharply up, a little down and out. Sharply up, a little down, out. Teeth. Down the center line. I'd like to have the same dimensions on the teeth. Take your V-tool, take your sharp knife, gouge. And there we have it. I got it all nice and cleaned up. Let's see if we can bring the light in a little bit and closer. Did it work out? I think it worked out. I think Santa's eyes might be just a little higher, but any adjustments you can make. Like I said, you can do whatever you want as far as how you want to do the tree and the beard. You can go ahead and make it more realistic. I just like to put simple dents in it. And there it is. You can put eyeballs in it. This is just a simple little